Good evening, Alexander and Flora. Thank you very much for allowing us to have the opportunity to come up with a financial advisory package that we feel will be of great benefit to you. The team that has worked on this project has consisted of myself being Kynan, Darman, Rashid. In order to work out these strategies, we've had a look at the information you have provided and drawn up a conclusion that we can utilise a calculated surplus of $103,000 per year to achieve all these goals. The goals that we have come up with from the information is consisted of the non-financial goals of some estate planning in order to protect the assets, the financial goals of reducing the mortgage, maximising your super, and the creation of a fund to allow the children to have access to a $50,000 house deposit in the next 10 years. I will be covering the topics of estate planning and clearing the mortgage. Darman will be covering the superannuation maximisation, and Rashid will cover the Children's House Deposit Fund. With regards to the estate planning, the things that we will consider is the implementation of a will, enduring power of attorney, super death benefits, and advanced healthcare directives. When looking at the will, it's going to be fairly simple. It's just to ensure that any owned assets, specifically the house, can be passed on to either the children or spouse in the tragic event of the worst happening. For this to work, we will need a nominated guardian who will assume any custody of the children if the worst happens to the both of you. This will also allow for you both to nominate someone to act as an executioner of said will, carry out the conditions that it stipulates to look after the children. The added benefit is this can also ease the family burden by taking care of any funeral arrangements which can be pre-planned. With regards to enduring power of attorney, this will allow for someone to essentially act as an attorney with the authority to make any decisions regarding the legal and financial obligations in the event that either one of you or both lose the capacity to make these decisions, whether it be from an illness or diminished capacity due to age, etc., etc. The super death benefits for you both or your children will become binding beneficiaries, which will review every 3 years to keep it guaranteed, which will essentially allow for any superannuation amounts to be passed on to them as beneficiaries in a tax-free status, which is always good to receive tax-free money, except for the circumstance. We're going to also implement what's called an advanced healthcare directive, which is more commonly referred to as the living will, which will allow for you both to outline any procedures, medical treatments, or financial transactions that you want to take place in the event that you become into a state where you are unable to make these decisions for yourselves. They can be pre-planned. Now we're going to move on to the financial strategies. The first strategy here will be the mortgage reduction, which, as we can see by this long-winded table, currently we are repaying it at a rate of $36,000 per year with the aim of reducing it to zero. Now, as we can see at this rate, it is going to take 29 to 30 years to reduce this, which is the intended retirement age of 62 for Alexander and 65 for Flora. This is unachievable. So we're going to use some of the surplus to reduce this on a much quicker basis. The first one I want you to see is if we were to use all of the 103,000 to reduce this balance, it can be achieved into the 6th year. This is great in theory, but the negative downside to this is that it foregoes opportunities to maximise superannuation and build some money for the Children's House Deposit Fund. So what we recommend is a 10-year strategy, which should be a hybrid model, which allows for everything to take place. As you can see here, we use $63,000. It's still to redo it. It will clear it all within the 10th year, and also allow for funds to be used to boost your super and set up the children's fund. The risks that take place in the strategy is that of an interest rate risk, where if interest rates increase, it's not good because we might increase the time frame of repayments, might have to chop and change how much we use out of the surplus. But the flip side is if the rates go down and we keep the same repayments, it can be achieved faster. And then there are also the health risks, as pointed out by Alexander, which in the unforeseen event of something tragic happening might seriously impact and have to revisit these strategies. But for now, I will pass it on to Darwin, who will talk about the superannuation maximisation process. Thank you very much.